she put my ding dong on Facebook Live. People say Luke D5 to stay alive.
A big black man fucker, no China man fucker.
Let us rebuild this nation with a no cost overrun.
Nowhere in the world is freer than we.
In the sky is where I want to be. In the sky
I will stand, cause it's the people ruling this land. Stand if I had a gun, I would shoot terrorism down.
people going crazy. Short and sweet, somebody licking it. Say woman killer, say Rocky Disa.
Why you telling the youth to sing and your king already reigning?
700 is too much blackmail. Now where is the work? That's all new fashion.
Bomb blast, dynamite exploding.
You get hungry and gripe like me, then you want more to like me.
They blackmail me, Claudius, they blackmail me.
You are a crafty little lady, like that tricky spider and Nancy. Have you ever seen an ape popping ding-a-ling? And be anywhere, don't care who watching.
Don't give me no tell the truth. Nothing but the truth. If we have to save this country, you shall go have to learn to fight karate. Yeah!
Bradley Felix cannot remember what he signed on the piece of paper.
That's for another show.
Calabash TV, you know we love you.
Oh, good night, my people.
We want to welcome you to Calabash TV and to the reality show, and we have in studio, obviously we're coming to the end of the first round of the 2017 Calypso season, and we get ready for the quarterfinal stage. We want to welcome you to our show tonight, and also welcome two of the most seasoned and most experienced and most accomplished Calypso writers in St. Lucia. We have Mac Stephen, Aubertin, Lord help me. Welcome to our studio, and also Naham Baptiste. Naham, happy Baptiste.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
The names, first of all, Lord help me. I don't know how you came up with it. Was it a cry for help, or were you lowering expectations when you came into the tent?
Well, in a sort of way, you know, because when I decided to first come into Calypso, I recognized that, you know, I was not the best singer around. So I knew I would need help. And I said, boy, who would I ask for help? Obviously, it's the Lord. So he has the Lord to help me. But a lot of people meeting me on the streets, asking me for help. Seriously, yes, but I'm not the Lord. I was asking the Lord for help.
Naham, in terms of happy, how did that come about?
Happy, I used to play basketball. Okay.
So it wasn't Calypso. You don't say
it wasn't Calypso. They used to call me Ball Happy.
Ball Happy.
And then they dropped the ball, so Happy remained with me.
Right.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, I want to welcome you to the reality show, and today we're focusing on Calypso, and we're looking at the socio-political commentary. Obviously, it's all the issues that are raised are national issues.
Right.
They're all very topical, very current issues, and this year is a very profitable year for writers. So I don't know if there's anything that we should know about this particular season. Is it a case where we have more songs when there's a UWP administration in power? And maybe we can ask you, Lord help me.
I wouldn't say it's when the UWP is in power we have more songs. We have more songs where the government of the day gives us the opportunity to write the songs.
Right. Because last year there was all
it's just coincidental. It's just coincidental that UWP is in. But normally the government of the day, depending on how they operate, would give us the information, you know, the ammunition to go forward. And I think this is this is in particular this year. That's because I mean you would know from last year to now the number of things, whether true or false, but they're in the public domain. So Calypso writers profit on this.
But come to think of it, last year too, there were quite a lot of anti-SLP songs as well, right, Naham?
Yes, definitely. You know, and Lord help me is right. You know, because remember Calypso come from a history and origin of politics and the slave master / government and the people, and we're writing to them in a way that we have our own language right into them, but we depend on, we want them to do the nonsense. You understand? We depend on that for us to get something to write. But having said that, I think politicians ought to just listen, because it's just a time where we're having fun. It's not a disrespect for anybody. We're just having fun. We're trying to be creative, and they should just take it with the grain of salt, and just laugh it off. I want to say that because I think I have had some kind of, well, not major experience, but minor experience where politicians really take it too serious, and Lord help me, Lord help me, can tell you.
Certainly.
It's just we writing, we being creative. So if you don't want us to write, don't do no nonsense, and then you won't be a topic.
Right. So I was about to say that as well. At least don't create the atmosphere.
Yes. Don't create that. Don't give us the fodder.
Now, is there? I did an interview with the public relations officer of the United Workers' Party, which we're airing a little later this week, and she was a Calypsonian as well. I don't know if you remember Lady K.
Yes.
So she's going to come back in the 10th next year. She's assured me.
Okay.
So that should be very interesting. And she was making a point, I don't know if it was a slip, but she was making a point that more of the tent goers are SLP followers. Is that your experience at all?
No, not really. I mean, you have that's one thing I can say about the tents. It's apolitical. I mean, all sets of people come to the tents. There's nothing to do with more labor people coming to the tents. You have some time ago, I made a distinction between probably the ambassadors following as compared to the TOT and the other tents. Ambassadors seem to have been a sort of middle class, that kind of thing. But in terms of supporting a particular party, no, I don't think so. I think people from all colors come to the tents.
That's what I figured as well. And whoever is in line to get blows will get blows.
Yes.
Particular year, whatever it is. All right. Well, as we talk about ambassadors, I want to start focusing on some of the social commentaries that came out of the tents, and we'll focus first with the ambassadors.
There's unhappiness, so much bitterness, unemployment is truly getting high. Frustration hit me right in the eye. But when you turn a blind eye to the aging society, we're destroying the future of this country. Cause we know who doing the shootings, we know who doing the rape, so point them out. If this time we point them out. We know who's spreading violence, we know who preaching hate, so point them out. If this time we point them out. It's rotten apples in the society, and we know them well. Rotten apples spoiling the country, sending we straight to hell. Not until we set an example and whip them in the square, then my people crime ain't going nowhere. Let's tell them.
In the great divide, everyone is now forced to choose a side. Behind party colors you get to hide. Just look around and you will see. Is either you Flabo or SLP. The time has come in this nation for us to stand together as one. Right here, right now, it's time to bridge the great divide.
That was the ambassador's clip then, and just a snapshot of some of the key issues that came out of there. Obviously, you saw the full range from where you're singing about healing the Caribbean, all those social ills, and Robbie, I'm talking about point them out and so on, and Solange talking about the political divide as well. So these are representative of the key issues as far as you're concerned.
You mean key issues in the country?
So far, yeah. I mean, there's a lot more, but this is a snapshot.
Well, Solange in particular, I think particularly now, I don't know for what reason, but there appears to be that greater divide from last year to now. I do not know what was the reason for it. I mean, we have always been flambeau labor. I mean, from times growing up as a boy, my mother in the house was flambeau, but I decided to go labor. You understand? But I mean, she was my mother. We kissed and hugged, in the house. Yeah. You understand? So, but there was no enmity. But this time around, it appears to be there's supposed to be an anger. I do not know why it is so, because to me, after elections, Flabo wins, Labour wins, everybody comes back together and let's build for our country. But right now, I don't know. I think she's correct there, particularly now.
And Robbie touching on the crime situation as well. which is quite pertinent as well. All right, we'll go to the Takeover tent as well to get a sense of what took over Soca Village, to get a sense of some of the issues that came up as well.
If you're looking political rule, just tune to your favorite talk show. Dial 452-3046 and give the government their share of it. I hesitate to speculate why we country in a bad state. Is it that our huge cabinet? Why we can't balance we budget? Mem go Satan megatan Tale IMF guide son. Me fence too low to step on Flaboto.
That's for another show.
I papa ni baka mem go jukwa.
That's for another show.
So maka ye freshman pour buy Flaboda.
That's for another show.
No, not me coco. That's for another show.
All the time, Lucian sit down there waiting. What we really thought was money demanding me. But as soon as the party went, the contracts that signing. Investors from Malaysia get the tag on US dollar and a car. Look the chin. He promised me the chin. All the time we waiting, we pockets they have nothing. But he bring in Chensing, he bring Teoke. Soon will be one day. Sonny Shiba to look out for Tony Falcon and all them Chinese gunmen. If we have to save this country, you shall go have to learn to fight karate. Yeah!
C'était Alan Chastel qui a dit marcher. À présent, c'est Lucia marcher. Listen. The opposite sides of DSH protesting defiantly, warning we shouldn't sacrifice St. Lucia's patrimony. Yes, we welcome the investors to invest in we country, but never must we sell out St. Lucia's sovereignty. Must we not be concerned about global warming and what the mangrove should really mean, and sell out the country for ching. Because I see only one way to make $1 today and 1 million ways to take it away. The financial burden heavy on the Malay way. May Shasne and you baldos back up. Now where is the work? Where the work that's on the fashion? Say we pocket broke, that work that's on the fashion. We could hardly cope, can't cope that's on the fashion. So we losing hope, no hope that's on the fashion. Saint Lucia, bonsoir.
They blackmail me, Claudius, they blackmail me. You Baldas, they blackmail me. Really, they blackmail me. That's the type of things you go to see when you get important in society. Don't ask if you have money, I tell you they blackmail me.
Today I'm planning a new talk show, both on TV and the radio. What makes you glad? Things couldn't be so bad. To offer hope and erase the doubt that finally things are working out. What makes you glad? Things couldn't be so bad. Feel free to call and express your views. Don't hesitate, share only good news. Ou pas besoin de parler politique. What makes you glad? Call and tell me now. Negativity I won't allow. Make us smile but don't be sarcastic. First call a lady from Babono. She happy now that Alvina. That makes her glad again. No more misery and strain. He have Ezekiel and we know he has the real miracle grow. That makes us glad again. No more misery and strain. Since he came on every roadside that I pass, growing tons of the elephant grass. Food for your horse and there is plenty more for your
sampling of some of the music that came out of the Takeover Tent and Soca Village. The first song, Achiever, was talking about that's one of the show that he wasn't going to deal with some issues. Do we have, from as a writer's point of view, do we have instances where you find that writers are sometimes intimidated by whoever's in power?
You go through that?
Yeah, well, I will not say intimidated, I would say inspired,
Okay.
Inspired, because you see, at the end of the day, well, the way I do it, like, everybody have their technique. I ask my own self, well, what are the two most important things, for me that have struck a nerve in me for a year, and I would write about it. Or I would hear, I speak to a lot of people, and they would mention something, and sometimes just a phrase, So that's, I don't know if Lord help me, how Lord help me does it, but this is how I would handle it.
But when I listen to his song, I mean, he's saying that's for another show, but he's still saying what's for another show.
What's for the other show? That's the other thing.
I mean, that's great.
True.
You're raising all the issues.
Right, exactly.
But he's also,
but for me as a writer, I think it's almost like happy. I listen and I see what is bothering me, and I listen to people too what's bothering them.
Right.
And I do not want to go down the line where I can be sued. So I have to be careful with the words I choose.
Exactly.
Sometimes, I even go as far as running into a legal brain just to ensure, that. But even if you do that, people will still take, for example, when I used to sing, that's years ago, when I sung the wedding gift list, that's a case in point, where I did not say anything out of the way. I just said I was not inviting a particular guy because he sold the vote. And that was that. And as a matter of fact, in terms of when you sing or how politicians think, I rather when I write a song that for politicians to come on the radio and criticize, that in that case it gives the song more popularity.
Yes.
But generally, we as Calypsonians or writers, we try to reflect what we see happening in the society. Sometimes you could get a little carried away in terms of where you stand on the political divide. You may be a little sometimes biased. That's obvious because we are human beings. But generally, when you check the content, it's what everybody's saying.
Right.
What everybody's saying happening in the country. Where's the ching-ching? Where the employment? Things like that, the crime. That's what they see, that's what they hear, so that's what they write about.
Let's go to the South. There's quite a lot of political activity in the South with the DSH project. So let's go to find out how that tent handles some of the key issues.
Look now, they're giving Chinese. How have you fought lands for free? Shastness and that like a breeze. 14 Chinese money. Still the country in a mess. Every day is a protest. People fight to stay alive. Poor people can't survive. So both Helen's eyes closing while Rumbali they're waiting. Cause it seems there is no hope. With the jaunty she cannot cope. Please give Helen some red-eye jobs. Get the yellow out on the spot. There is really no time to waste. This is an emergency case. It's revenge, they're taking everything. Flabo stopping. So backwards we go with everything. Flabo stopping. Smile, they're stopping contracts. They're stopping step. They're stopping jazz. They're stopping everything. Flabo stopping. If it's things you want to stop, your master ways you must jump. Why poor people you oppress? Stop your damn wickedness.
We going on the train. Agreement signed insane. Land for free. No consulting with anybody. Like our prime minister never read the paper. But sell we to the Chinese fella. While supporters bearing shame, I am not in bullshit game. That is why I will never remain tame. I will stand for my country. I will stand. I will stand when we're not happy. I will stand. I will stand against the Chinese. I will stand. I will stand to save our beaches. I will stand. I will stand as long as my country not in safe hands. I will stand. Cause it's the people ruling this land. Stand.
Alright, that's a newcomer from the south, Tino. Quite a lot of passion. He did one song on the night, and I'm looking forward to seeing him in the quarterfinals to see what else Tino has to offer. But certainly a lot of passion there from Tino. It was quite interesting that most of the issues dealt with DSH and some of the key issues in the south as well, which they can relate to, I guess.
Yes.
Alright, so we want to move on to, I think what we'll probably do now is take a break before we go on to next, which is personalities. I want to look at some of the personalities that have been featured during this Calypso season so far at the quarterfinals. We're up to the quarterfinal stage at this point. So when we come back, we will take a look at the personalities like the Prime Minister and other persons who are front and center in Calypso 2017.
This summer, get ready, set for school with the Educator or Educator Plus loan from the St. Lucia Civil Service Cooperative Credit Union. No more back-to-school stress. The Educator loans will take care of everything you need, including school fees, materials, and supplies. Up to $10,000 for primary and secondary students and up to $15,000 for young adults with affordable payments for up to 2 years. Call or visit us for more information today. The Educator and Educator Plus loan only at the St. Lucia Civil Service Cooperative Credit Union. Save and borrow with pride. Terms and conditions apply.
Taste the real Fruta, enjoy the real Fruta, refreshing juice every day. Whoa, Fruta.
No one ever reads the fine print. But if you use a cell phone, landline, the internet, or cable TV, read the terms of the service contract carefully and pay attention to the type of service, the length of the contract, contract renewal, penalties, fees for services, termination, and reconnection, fee increases, and how much notice is required. The option not to receive advertisements and sharing personal information with third parties. Do not sign a contract that you are not satisfied or comfortable with.
This message is brought to you as a public service announcement by ECTEL, the NTRC, and this station.
Welcome back to the reality show, and our focus this time around is on Calypso, the 2017 Calypso season. We're looking at the social and political commentaries that are coming out of the tents. We're up to the quarterfinal stage at this point, so we will get to talk a little about that. We have in studio with us Lord Help Me and also Naham Baptiste, two experienced, probably two of the most experienced writers in St. Lucia, also the most accomplished and the most decorated writers. All right, we want to move on to some of the personalities that have featured front and center in this year's Calypso competition. There's one minister who's been front and center. Most of the songs, I think, probably has a large percentage of the songs dedicated to him, and also the Prime Minister never escapes.
Yes.
So he's always front and center. So let's go to the ambassador's tent first of all to see how they address the Prime Minister.
All you big up my Prime Minister, please.
No more use cars, you'll have to take bus. There will be no more national trust. The media in St. Lucia has no future. The man has stopped Radio St. Lucia. Listen, but you'll have a dolphin back. Horses galloping on racetrack. The man is the king of storm. Look, the man stop the Archbishop. So leave my stopping Prime Minister. The man is the leader of the land. Only he could understand. I tell you to leave my stopping Prime Minister. But the man can slash. Step is stop in a flash. Leave him alone, my stopping Prime Minister. Leave him, the man on his own, my stopping Prime Minister. Leave him alone, my stopping Prime Minister.
You on your way to becoming a better Prime Minister. Once policies are implemented with transparency, then you on your way to becoming a better Prime Minister. Please don't disconnect and alienate the citizenry, then you on your way to becoming a better prime minister. Remember, the people are the habit of this country and will determine your legacy. To be a good prime minister, you do not need any PhD. At least I think Mr. Shastley. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Better prime minister.
30 years, Sir John, you see. 15 years, Honorable Kenny Anthony. Now against all odds, mulatto get apply. Alan get a try. So it's clear, it's very, very clear. Lucians love their leaders fair. It's clear, it's very, very clear. My girls, Lucians love their PMs fair. Thank you.
That's the educator. He has been consistent in this business for quite a while, and he is pretty strong again this year. What do you think? I don't know if any of you communicate with him, but what do you think keeps driving him that much?
He does not take it on his own to do his writing. He understands that, you know, there is a separation between the writer and the singer. Obviously, his input is there, you know, but he gets help, and that's very important. He gets help from the right people. That's why we'll always be upfront, and he's positive. You know, sometimes, you know, and you must listen to him, whether he sings A or Z. You will listen because you know that's someone who works hard and will come up with something good every year. And that's him. And I think the essential ingredient here is that he works with people and he listens.
Excellent quality to have in this Calypso. We want to stick with the ambassadors tent for a while because they dealt with one of the key personalities this year, the Minister of Finance, and most of the tents did focus on him, but we want to start with the ambassadors tent and see how they dealt with that particular issue.
If you ball and don't want the truth exposed, always wear your hat and clothes before you pose. Make sure you're with friends, not fools. If you ball, cover up properly. If you ball, don't let everybody see. So dearie, you must ensure you have privacy. Don't question my advice, don't even try. I could give you 700 reasons why the consequences dread. If you fall and expose your head.
Now to be a star, expose everything on social media.
Minister of Finance, jobs you must create. Don't come here without banks, we know you could procreate. If you have some spare time, waste it on the youth. Tell them don't commit crime, little less no too. If it's time you have in reserve, one more ministry you deserve. Madam Gigi come, make him minister put it back. Thank you.
They say this Lucian leader behaving morally, decided to get freaky with this other lady. But I ain't casting judgment and I ain't throwing blame. Just maybe the minister was hungry for some fame. The man had balls for flaunting me nudity. Check out the photos and you go see. The man had balls for standing up on the net. Plenty young fellas can't do that yet. The man had balls, more than his eye, more than guy. Strong like a lion, pictures can lie. The man had balls, more than any man I know. Throughout the nation, he ran in the show. Yes, the man had balls. The man had balls.
That's Ali Cat from the Ambassadors. Yes, from Ambassadors Calypso tent, focusing on one of the key issues of the season that we'll also hear from the South in just a while as well. That was obviously an easy target for most Calypsonians, and we noticed that quite a number of Calypsonians went for that as well. So that was almost a gift. the Calypsonians. Let's go to the South to see how the South dealt with this issue as well.
You ball, I hear you ball. Yes, you ball. You couldn't believe it at all. Not at all. Not at all. You ball, I hear you ball. Yes, you ball. Cause people say it's so small. Very small. Very small. You blame the lady. Make them arrest she. Said it was blackmail. You want to put her in jail. She was in your office when you did your business. You were smiling while with yourself you was playing. Now you want to say it's Photoshop that was there. Même moi savent c'est petit ou capale. C'est ou même qui l'a. C'est Rocky dit ça. Voilà c'est point nous. Qui sont bouillés à tout. It is true, you can't deny. It is true, teach and lie. It is you, man to no peace in we eye. C'est ou même qui l'a. C'est Rocky dit ça. Voilà c'est point nous. Juste à tout. Your church silent like a mouse, but you still in the upper house. Move, cause you are a shameless and dirty louse. Shameless, you gotta get out.
Some men struggle in the red. Their future dead. They can raise their head. I stand erect, I will entertain. In this ball game, I'll make me name. As I continue to play, you ball in red, ball in red. Let's go. Shouting in a virgin tongue. Come and play on that ding dong. Never knew you were bad like that. Use the natural, that's a bad more. Like a pan, like pan man in run. Play like a fan, like the banjo man. Play. Ring, ting that thing a ling. Put on your ding dong. Come on, stroke the thing. Compose a new guy, so give more. Give it more. You ball me that ding dong. Play on, play on, play on, play on, play on. Thank you.
Black ball is a thing in our history. Listen carefully. Involve us in the political arena. Recall us on TV. Now, Mr. You join the clique. He take a pic and show his little brick. But the chick so slick. The black baller is Frederick. You ballers the whole of the nation. When she see this small little licky dong. And look now the whole population want to show that little ding. You ballers man. You ballers man. You ballers man. You ballers man. Hey! Hey!
A little photo you see, you understand a young lady. How people going crazy. You know what? It's short and sweet. Somebody licking it. This leaking is a problem. Mr. Plumber, come and plug them. Use all your techniques. Sing it with me. To fix their leaks. Thank you.
That was a journalist ending that segment. They obviously see that Calypsonians and Calypso writers are not very charitable when it comes to dealing with certain key issues and certain personalities, especially if they've been gifted certain themes and storylines as well. And obviously there is no respect of persons. In Calypso, Calypsonians themselves can be a target. And on the night of the TOT, one of the most anticipated performances obviously came from a former Calypso king. And it was interesting, the first song he did, in fact the first few bars, I wanted to play it because I like that type of music as well. And I thought the first few bars, because this is the first time you're hearing from Wally, and this is what he offered first of all. I kind of like a little bit of the Latin flavor in there as well. And but I wanted to get to his song as well. We'll get to some of the songs that came up in the tent. But one of the songs that what he did on his return was called "End of the Rope," and I wanted to play it and then have us comment on it a bit.
Every day, things are just getting harder, and it's like it's becoming too bitter. Subtle distress, money worries, yes. Living a life where nobody cares while you're fetting and enjoying life. Another is slashing his wrist with a knife. We forget to be our brother's keeper when we slander them on every media. Some things are kicks and for entertainment. Someone may be hurting from your statements. Cause many brothers are losing hope, hanging on to that last bit of rope. End of the rope, end of the rope, end of the rope. If you are sister, brother, or friend, don't let them reach to the very end. End of the rope, end of the rope, end of the rope. Make sure they never hit the bottom. Become another tragic outcome. Please give someone more. Don't let them reach the end of the road.
In spite of whatever was swirling around him, it was a very serious song that Wally performed, and I haven't seen any Calypsonian sit in, or stand in one position to deliver a song. He stood at the microphone and he performed the entire song. From there, it was quite a powerful performance. And when I listened to the song, I somehow thought, you know, probably there's a little call for help as well. I don't know if any of you read that in that song.
Well, the lyrics suggest that to me, but I would concur with you that it's a very strong message. I mean, we can take this and just assign it or align it to our society, where sometimes, you know, people get themselves involved in certain activities. At the time, probably they were not thinking clearly. In hindsight, they thought I should have never done this. But the fact is, at that time when it is done, such persons need help. And what do? You know, in all corners, you know, bad talking, why did he do this, and, you know, wishing him bad, and even on the media. So I concur with you. That's a very strong message from Wally, and I suspect too, based on his whole demeanor, that is something that he felt himself. And who knows whether he felt at that particular point in his life he was near the end of that rope.
The love was short-lived though, because not long after he performed, one of his compatriots, actually from Ancillary, performed as well, and that's Her Black, and Her Black basically performed the No Tralala song.
Is it true or false? Did this happen at Judge Charles? It's matter of girl and principal. I know I wasn't there, but the news is everywhere. I even the pregnancy and all. Before I say so, it's so. Say things I want to know. Even she was 17 and we do the 16 thing. Does that give him right to do her so? Because she rely on you. Tell us if she lied on you. And because she leaned on you, if you let her in on you, so don't give me no, tell me the truth, nothing but the truth. Don't give me no cha-la-la-la-la. Don't give me no cha-la-la-la. Don't give me no cha-la-la-la. Don't give me no cha-la-la-la-la.
A lighthearted approach from Her Black in in terms of his interpretation of how he read that situation. And Naham, you had your own interpretation as well.
Yes, yes.
Talk to us, we'll be playing a little bit of it in a while. One principle, or is no principle?
No principle.
No principle. So probably we'll get to it first and then we'll talk to you in a bit.
Children in trouble when their school don't have principal. The principal gone, they coming back soon. He got a one-way tickets to the moon. A sad song for kind so in St. Lucia. When the principal playing a minor, instead of teaching children what is good, like any trustworthy principal should. He turned she around, I never thought he would. Offer the child sex for good bread and food. No principal, the school no have. No principal, the boys in the school breaking every rule. The girls in trouble with that principal. Hey, no principal, the school no have. Cause they don't have no principle. When teachers teach children bad example, the school don't have no principle.
That's ready with no principle. Obviously, Lord help me, there are no favoritism in Calypso.
Well, you know, I can attest to that because when I was just out of performing and I'd gone into administration, Wally sang a song about me, you know, where the money gone. So he should know that in Calypso, everything happens. You understand me? And whether as serious as what he was brought before the PSC or TSC for, as serious as it was, that's to show him that as long as the Calypsonians and the writers get something, they're going to use it.
And one thing you can say about Wally is that he can face the music. You must give him that he decided, I'm still participating, I'm still in this, I can face the music, and he came out and he faced the music. Now, Naham, I wanted to get back to Ready because there was also a very important point that was raised in the song, which I thought quite pertinent and I wanted to feature as well, was the fact that it's not just the key people involved, but you also mentioned the fact that the parents, society, have a role to play. So let's hear Ready first.
Shame on you, the parents, for taking the bribe to keep the child silent. Police forensics failed to do the test to get DNA to make an arrest. The teachers union drink no more tablets. Not one word from other principals yet. Sadly the minor face all that alone. None left to protect. She at school or home. Afraid to go to class. She had she does turn. Kind of knowledge lessons too hard to learn. So no principal. The school no principal. The boys in the school so miserable. The girls in trouble with that principal. Hey, no principal. The school no principal. They had to combine with another school. When teachers teach children bad example, the school don't have no principal. When?
That's an exceptionally comfortable Ready on stage. She looked pretty comfortable, quite relaxed. She seemed to be enjoying it as well. And when I asked her after the interview, she said she's having fun in Calypso, so which is good as well. But I wanted to make the point that there's a very key message as well.
Yes, and this really touched me because, you know, I see the school, you know, the love of Calypso, because, you know, this hurt me at several levels. First of all, Calypso. Calypso is suffering, and the man represents, the man is an icon in Calypso. Then he's a principal. But the thing that gets me is that where are the parents of that child? We haven't heard. You know, I know the stigma and everything. And to me, how is that child herself feeling? There's nobody left. You know, the ministry, You know, the parents not there, the police, so nobody's helping us. So she's there. So that is why, you know, I felt that I had not to get back at the principal for any reason, but just the child. You know, I was saying that child is alone. You know, and that's what really drove me to write that song.
Excellent. All right, we'll take a break and continue. I want to focus a little bit on a journalist. Well, he's called the journalist as well. He is in Calypso from the South, and he represents, well, from what the MC was saying, he is a member of the United Workers' Party, which is fine, and he was brave enough to come and actually sing songs in favor of the government. So we'll talk about that in just a bit, feature some of his music, and come back and talk to. We won't talk to him just yet, but he'll talk to us through his music. That's the journalist.
Taste the real Fruta, enjoy the real Fruta, refreshing juice every day. Whoa, Fruta.
Are you getting the broadband speed that you're paying for? Based on your contract as advertised, several factors may affect broadband speed, like distance from the provider's exchange to your property, the type of line to your house, or processing power of the hardware or device that you are using. To check your speed, you can use a broadband speed checker on the World Wide Web. If it's less than the advertised speed, you may be within your rights to complain to your provider. Always read your contract carefully.
This message is brought to you as a public service announcement by ACTEL, the NTRC, and this station.
This summer, get ready, set for school with the Educator or Educator Plus loan from the St. Lucia Civil Service Cooperative Credit Union. No more back-to-school stress. The Educator loans will take care of everything you need, including school fees, materials, and supplies. Up to $10,000 for primary and secondary students and up to $15,000 for young adults with affordable payments for up to 2 years. Call or visit us for more information today. The Educator and Educator Plus loan only at the St. Lucia Civil Service Cooperative Credit Union. Save and borrow with pride. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back to the reality show, and we're continuing our focus on Calypso 2017. We're looking at some of the key topics that have surfaced so far. We're still yet to get to the quarterfinals. I'm sure, from what I heard, there'll be a couple of new songs that will be making its debut. Before we get to journalists, let me ask very quickly, is this the, I don't know if it's a very short season, but we had this one show at the Cultural Center, and then we get straight to the quarterfinals. Is that your experience? That this happened before?
I think it has happened once before, you know, but it happened because at the time the first tent, based on the analysis of the Calypso lover, was not good. And you know the Calypso lovers, they are wanted. When you see they go to the tent first night and they're not satisfied, it means the other tents suffer. So that was the reason. But this year is quite the opposite. In fact, all 10 so far have had good showings, good material, people satisfied, people calling for more. So the reason or reasons for only having one show, then the quarterfinals, maybe the tent leaders or tent management can answer that question.
No, but I think it's also financial, you know. I think it's just financial, you know. It's just that, you know, somehow we in Calypso, it's sad to see that we're in a kind of a dependency. We're depending on the government for everything. I think Calypso is a viable business, you know, and you have been there at the helm in the days when there was no government or minimal government funding, you know. I think it's very sad now, you know. We've been struggling. And to see now that we have some good calypsos, and you know, people have to go into yes. competition mode before they really get to start to enjoy, you know. But it's there already. So.
And I think it has to do again with quality, because what I see this year and maybe from last year, that the entrance fee to the tent is $20. Mm-hmm. At the time when tents used to be jam-packed, it was $30, and people were lining up, they couldn't get inside.
Exactly.
And they had more shows, they had one show, they had shows even on Monday nights.
Yes.
Tents had to squeeze in to try and get shows, and people came. But over the years, the quality had dropped.
Yes.
You know, so when the quality drops, people stay away. But this year, I don't know why, I don't know if writers just sprung up, Calypsonians on stage more confident. You know, the organization level is high. and it showed this year, but look what happens.
Exactly.
You know.
One of the things that you mentioned that we'll want to deal with it later on in probably another show is product development, because you need the quality to get people in there. And so I think I don't see the tents having a dedicated program to deal with product development.
Well said.
You know, and even CDF and so on. We don't
Well
have.
said. Well said. Yes.
So we'll deal with that later on as the season goes on. Now I mentioned journalists for one simple reason, because when he came to perform, Donnaville made mention quietly. He was whispering to the crowd, but everybody heard that he is from the other party. Okay, he was sensing that the crowd at the time he was suggesting was pro-Labour. And so I felt a little discomfort for journalists when he came on, but I spoke with him after. He said, I mean, he's a Calypso and he's used to that kind of stuff. It doesn't bother him at all. And he did a couple of songs which are obviously not in the vein of most of the other songs. So I'll let you listen to, first of all, Stop the Leaks, and then there's another one called Capitalize we'll get to in just a while. But let's start with Stop the Leaks.
Look, investors, they're not running scared. Within them walls, nothing is sacred. For the future of the whole, we have to find that mode before we sign another deal. All them licks we have to conceal. The swearing in ceremony, we pay Agnes big money. Now the invoice people see, we taking stick, somebody licking. The DSH we sign, have a privacy line. Now it's everywhere online, we taking stick, somebody licking. This leaking is a problem. Mr. Plumber, come and plug them. Use all your techniques to fix them leaks. Thank you!
That's a journalist with some very brilliant lines there.
Yes,
yes. And interestingly enough, Priest was there, and Priest is quite an amazing person because he always seemed to find the right props by the second verse. Because in this case, he found some pipes from wherever. And I remember there was a previous presentation you might see later on as well, where somebody was performing. I think it was Lil Nick. He was talking about Obia, and he found a broom somewhere. By the time he got to the second verse, so I find him very creative and very resourceful as well. The second song that Journalist did was called Capitalize. Again, if you know Journalist, he plays on words quite a bit. So let's listen to a little bit of it, and I will talk about that.
Kenny sat on the SH for so long when the economy was not that strong. Shas was wise, he capitalized. And as the murder rate start to climb, he promised to get rid of the crime. Oh, so wise, he capitalized. But now they're out of power, applying so much pressure. The people now realize they're telling a bunch of capital lies.
That's the Journalist. The reception wasn't the best, but it's a good song, and if you get a chance to listen to the whole song as well, but he did have some fun with it.
Yeah, well, I remember some time back when the United Workers' Party was in power and Labour Party won the elections. I came and everybody was saying, boy, 3 months, 4 months.
Yes, I remember.
And nothing was going on, so I said, give him a chance.
Yes.
Give him a chance. So what I saying, give him a chance. One side said outside, one other side inside. But I was enjoying myself, and they actually encored. When they encored, some said no, some said yes. So it happens. I mean, if you support your party, then you tend to stick with them. But that's not to say that I mean, maybe a lot of people may not know that I have not written songs against the SLP.
Oh, yes,
I have. But generally you tend to stick with your party. But like journalists, I mean.
Some of the bright spots for 2017, some young people coming through. Obviously, we keep referring to Reddy as one of the bright stars for the future. There's a young lady who came from the south, Oshun, and she amazed everybody for her very first song, On the Night. And I want to feature a little bit of a song and talk about the youth coming in through the art form.
Why
Yeah, you telling the youth to sing, and your king already ready. And why you pretend to care when you thief in we backland? Everything in we society is based on a lie and hypocrisy. You telling the youth to sing, and your queen already sitting. Veterans, veterans, only one. Veterans, veterans, the future of tomorrow. Veterans, veterans, they will never go. You telling the youth to sing, and your king already reigning. You telling the youth to sing, and your king already reigning. That hurts, Bambida de la do, Bambida bido, Bamba de papa do. I'm telling you.
Alright, that's Oshun from the south. A lot of talent. She's a really wonderful singer as well. And I know she's talking about the Queen is already sitting, but the Queen is not defending this year. So there's an opening for her as well to come in. And also, she is she was making the point about the veterans as well. So I don't know if you want to respond to that.
Well, you like you said, great talent, very confident. You can see that even while the band is playing its band chorus, she's humming away and going, giving the parts. So she knows what she's about. But then I think there is room for the veterans, and I think that is the reason why our West Indies cricket is in that shape. It depends on how you treat the veterans. Yes, they must move out. Obviously, there must be a time. But if you decide to just kick them out one time, then where is the experience for the young persons to rely on so that they can progress? So it's a delicate balance. You must have, in my view, both sets. You must know when to move on. Like myself, you understand. But at the same time, I think you must create that right balance. Create the avenues for the young persons that talent here. You can obviously, that's a talent we must nurture. But at the same time, you cannot, for example, kick out the guys who have been there and who still have some life in them.
Yeah, I want to make a little point on that. First of all, I think it shouldn't be solely veteran youth, because there are criteria. So we have to judge songs. We have to reach a stage where we judge songs. Yes, we like the brand names. We like the brand names and things. But I think, and in addition to that, what I think the veterans ought to be doing is mentoring those young people. Mentoring them. A lot of those young people coming up, they love the veterans. But when they're in the competition with the veterans, it's a totally different thing. I don't want to go through a lot of... Reddy has been through so much experience with that, that the veterans actually trying to push her out and that type of thing. But I think we veterans need some kind of program. The same thing you spoke about, product development. We were speaking about that, passing the baton. Because at some point the veterans will have to give up for whatever reason, and it will be the young people who will be taking over.
And I think we have a succession problem in St. Lucia that we get on a high and then we don't have a good succession plan.
Oh yes. It's in all spheres. Yes. It's everywhere, sports, everywhere.
Yes.
All of a sudden one day this key person is gone, and then you realize you're out in the water.
Yes. And it's not a question of veterans pushing out the youth. Veterans push out veterans themselves.
Yes.
When that competition bell rings. Yeah. That's each man for himself. You're not seeing. Yes, maybe during the initial stages you don't say, boy, ready, do this way, Ushun. I think you could have done that, but when competition bell rings,
everybody's
on yourself.
No, well, you see, but I'm thinking more. And the thing that we're very seasonal with the Calypso, but Calypso is something that ought to be there for the year. It's the same thing we keep saying all the time. But I really think that we don't necessarily need to have the right path there for those young people coming in, because it really is a dying art form. You can, and one of the reasons is the same succession plan. There is no succession plan, and we see the school. We see it happen in the schools every year. I want to mention Bachelor, for doing a tremendous. Because he has held that for maybe 5 or 6 years, But then where is the transition? Where is the plan to get them in? I know, but just ad hoc, just taking as a student. And I think and bring them to sing in the tent. That's not enough. And then look to the one show.
Yeah. But even too, I mean, what I suspect with the Calypso in terms of the dearth of Calypsonians now, if you check what happens after our season, we have good Calypso songs, good Calypso singers. But when the shows come after, only soca and groovy soca.
Yes.
You know, there's no Calypsonian again, you know. When you go to these parties and things, which Calypsonian is in this groovy soca and thing? So it means that yes, some talent comes there, like Ocean would come, there are some other little guys, young guys that coming up would come up. But most of them now would gravitate towards soca and groovy because, you know, after this season they can get work.
Yes.
And she's a very talented, as you mentioned, Ocean. She's extremely talented because she also does. She's a
designer, kind of a designer too. You know,
she's multi-talented.
Okay,
she's amazing. I had a song that she did in the Quail competition, but I didn't cue it up to play here. But I saw her there for the first time in Bellevue, and I was just freaking out on her. Just her ability to manage the stage and so on. It's a small stage, and she did very well.
No, she's.
We spoke about the succession and the transition from, especially the schools, because we recently had the schools competition, which was won by Rosalie and Corinth. Rosalie Primary and Corinth Secondary School. Again, Bachelor wrote for both schools. So his Calypsonian emerged, and he also won. He also wrote for the teachers as well. So he's had 3 crowns to his name for this year so far. But Lil Nick, who has been around, he's now graduating into a senior as well. He came out of the school system, and I'm not sure if he worked at Bachelor, but he has a very strong performer on stage. Very and as you mentioned, people not talking to each other during the season, he wrote a song called Obia, which was looking at a little bit of behind the scenes. I'll play the song and we'll talk a little bit about that in just a while.
Daddy was adamant we sing one song. Sion starts the marine and he back down. What they have? If it says and them judges bare face, with a red dress and that you got a place. What they have? Sing it out. So I bring a potion and the whip in my hands for them Calypsonians that have dirty hands. Once you sing Tata, whip in your glass. You were getting far. Whip in your glass. Hey, whoop your sir. Whip in your glass. I have to break this spell. Whoa. Or Calypso going to hell. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, man.
So you got a shot of the packed house that we were talking about earlier on.
Yes.
So there's a lot of anticipation, but we have no shows to go to. But that's Lil Nick, extremely talented, extremely comfortable on stage. I think he's found his niche on stage, and we can look forward to Lil Nick. Also, there's Tiki the Boss, who's a very interesting artist as well. A very talented artist as well. He's a songwriter, he's a poet. He does so many things, and he's ventured into the tents as well. And he did a song called Heaven.
I was born and raised on an island, separated by religion. They say you cannot praise the Most High if you are not Christian. But He creates all face, bless all place on earth. And every time that I pray, His presence always occurs. And I say, oh, I'm up in heaven. I know the Most High there is watching me, and I say, oh, my God is good, Lord, and He blessed me to be free. If you there with the Most High, hands up, a sinner, hands up, a sinner, hands up. If you there with the Most High God, hands up. Whoa, if you there with me, Most High, hands up, hands up. If you there with the Most High God, if you there with the Most High God, so I will say to you, thank Him for waking you up, and thank Him for giving you love, and thank Him for giving you life, and because you shine bright, well, thank Him, He's so wonderful. He makes the girls beautiful, oh, so cute, oh, and you know, oh.
That's So TK the Boss, he has his own unique style.
Yes, that's
and I seem to be enjoying it quite a bit.
And I think that's what the young people will bring in. That's what they will bring in. You know, you could get. You get a little reggae there. His lyrics are very creative. You know, clearly he's a future.
He gives me that little David Rudder feeling.
Yes, he has. Yes, they really bring something fresh in.
And we need that kind of energy.
We do.
Form. A young lady who performed and she sang about her passion for Calypso, and she's been at it for a while as well, and she made a big impact when she came out. That's Alicat.
Yes.
And when I heard the song, I really like her song and the passion. She put so much passion into that song. So let's hear that song, and we'll talk a bit about Alicat in a while.
Brother Wally say he wants a trip to the moon, but I does go there each time I hear Shanty croon. Every time I hear a tune from Sugar Aloes, I just catch a fever from me head to me toes. When you love a thing the way I love Kaiso, all you want to do is let the whole world know. Now I on a mission to promote the arts. Kaiso fever burning deep within my heart. For the love of Kaiso, I go always very proud. I agree like crow, but at least I make a start. For my brother Archie, I will carry on the flame. For the love of Kaiso, not because I won the fame.
No, I heard that song and I immediately fell in love with that song. I've always liked her and her dedication to Calypso. She's been at it whenever she gets a chance. The tent wasn't in this year, but she I think she signed up with them, ambassadors, and also performed. So I really admire Alicat for what she's done. I want to go a little bit outside of the box. Nintas, as you know, is quite a creative artist himself, and I wanted to play a little bit of something he did in the tent. He didn't start with a typical Calypso as you would imagine, so he took us back to church. So I wanted us to just get a feel for that from you.
Why should I go church or pray? To ask the Lord strength and health, when I can see him myself. See, I have noticed those who face justice, when they lock up their tail, always find Jesus in jail. I love to have a chat with Jesus, ask him what the hell wrong with us. Where do people go when they are no more? Why do the good die young and evil men live so long? I love to have a chat with Jesus, face to face, not anonymous. How does one get kicked? Turn the other chick. What is Sir John saying about the crap I love to wear? But I know it ain't gonna be easy. To see him must be in custody. So tell him bad boys on me, just mess with my family, I'm going to find Jesus in jail. Tell him try and my house, tell him assault my spouse, I'm going to find Jesus in jail. Bring the brass, I'm going to jail for one of them.
I just thought it was very interesting. His treatment is there's a Calypso on that, but I mean that's the Calypso.
Yes.
But I guess he did a little prelude just to get the crowd involved in it. And I wanted to do it before we close the show. Did it for a couple of Morgie. We haven't featured Morgie as yet, and to talk a little bit about there's some artists who you think sometimes should have won the crown by then, and they haven't. Robbie's one, Morgie is another, but they've always made very strong cases for the crown, but they haven't. And Morgie came back. I know he had stopped performing for a while, but like everything else, if the season is ripe for material, then he came back with a bang. And so I wanted to feature a little bit of Morgie and talk a little bit about his creative use of one of the catchphrases used during the campaign. I think Who Black also used it as well. But let's get to Morgie.
It's like a family business they're running, and that is what I've seen. So I can say Lucia is run like Super J. So sad why I'm hearing the Governor General will be leaving, and I had to make way for Dunstan Dubule. Government offices relocating to all the family buildings. Now you understand, Master days are done. Boy, the people cry, gas price on the rise. Some people regret they will never have ching 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 in that damn pocket. Hey, good night! Thank you! I love you!
That's Wally. Sorry, that's Morgie. He had quite a few uncles by this point, but he is somebody who was also committed to Calypso, and has been at it for quite a while. And it was good to see him back on stage. I'm not so sure if almost sure he'll be in the quarterfinals. I'm not sure what his second song is, but we'll wait. I suppose that's part of the build-up to get a sense of it. And I mentioned Robbie as well. Robbie has been at this for quite a while, and he did have his own interpretation that he said he was going to rearrange and reconfigure things to see if he can have some success. So let's listen a little bit to Robbie.
Every year coming strong, so strong. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Somebody help me. Look. Well, this year I change. Me songs rearrange. Please don't find me strange. Robin started getting so strange. I'm coming out. Somebody help me sing. I'm coming out. Everybody sing. I'm coming out. What you say? I'm coming out. Let's go.
An exceptionally talented musician. He has quite a body of work to his name with reasons, and there's a lot of work that Robbie has to his name, and he too has been in Calypso for quite a while, and some of us are hoping that at some point in time there'll be a crown designed for Robbie as well. Before we close, I wanted to, I don't know if, I'm sure you follow the things quite closely. Now, you haven't tried writing for the road at all? Road match songs at all?
Oh, well, I tried once, and it was Melee, and I got so much flack that year because I think that was 2005. And people were saying Ashanti is Melee, and what people were saying was, oh, there are so many serious things happening in the country, and then now you come to give Ashanti a road match song, you know. And then ironically, a couple of years after that, it was one of the songs that made the top 25. It was one of the songs. So I think well, this year also I have a little up tempo one with Ready as well. For me, it's I don't really like, I like the social commentary. That's what I like, you know. But I also notice that it is something that people expect of me. People don't want to know that I'm into the people more want me in the slower, you know, medium kind of tempo, you know. And so I concur.
But I do not deliberately write the songs. That's not my strength. However, there's a little story, but not in Castries, in Soufrière. I wrote a song for a young lady who went into the Soufrière Calypso competition. She won the finals, and the song was Road Match. Really? Imagine that. So, but I don't know. I don't write the up tempo style. That's not.
You've done a little chipping. You've written some songs that can.
That's right. Yes.
And the reason why I brought it up is because I was trying to figure out so far. I know normally the Road Match would come from the soca guys.
Yes.
I was trying to see who in the tent would probably have something, and I thought, and you probably let me know if you agree with me, that there's a young lady from the south. Ginger Snap, who had a song I thought was pretty close. I think if it's released on radio and given to the DJs, there's a very strong possibility, and if she can walk the road as well, because you have to walk the road, that she can make it. But so let's listen to Ginger Snap, something called Pour Some Oil on It.
Yes.
You know my engine, it's not really bad. Or rev it, that getting me mad. Swing it to the right and swing it to the left. Swing it all around you know the girls just stay in hand. Put some oil on it, rub some oil on it, put some oil on it, some oil on it, oil on it, put some oil on it. Will Baptiste, will Balen, will give it a blow coco. Tout casse will nous capo, tout casse will nous capo. Will Baptiste, will Balen, will give it a blow coco. Tout casse will nous capo, tout casse will nous capo. Oil on it, rub some oil on it, rub some oil on it. Some oil on it, rub some oil on it, rub some oil on it. Thank you, Cultural Center. Rub some oil on it, some oil on it.
There was a little bit of the genre influence in there, the music, and I think that if it's released on radio, and I think it has some potential.
I think it does.
The thing with the road marches, like even in Calypso 2, where somebody that little girl says that they already are the king or the queen. Normally in the road march thing too, you normally hear the names. But then if you go back in time, when Shaky won the road march, and the guy with these guys were no longer were not in the rest, but it's a public. If the public likes the vibe, then like that song, if the public take to that, Lil, me take to Lil.
Put some oil on it. What I like is it. Put some oil on the top. So that's the local.
Exactly. So there's some phrases in there.
If you're in the road, if you're a little coconut oil.
And what I like about it too is that she has injected a little bit of Creole in there as well.
Yes.
Because if you don't listen to it carefully, you won't even hear about the oil that she's talking about in Creole. So I think that Ginger Snap has some potential.
Yes, I think so.
I want to thank gentlemen for being here today. I wanted to basically look at the content of the songs as opposed to the names. Look at the content of the songs to see the topics that the Calypsonians are featuring, and to ask you as my final question whether the Calypsonians reflect the national mood, the national thinking on issues.
I think so. And the reason why you would find so many songs, to me, I that's record high. I've never heard so many songs anti-government. You would have other social issues, but that one this year, and I think it mirrors what the people are thinking. I mean, you would have, for example, in St. Lucia, you have a situation where it's almost balanced, 30%, 30%, and you have 40, 60, 40% people who are undecided. But it looks as though this year, even those persons who are on that side, already, in the talk that things not going as well as they thought. The promises are not kept, and that's what you're hearing. And that is why Calypsonians obviously take that lead, and that's why you have so many songs. Everybody, I mean, it's not a situation where all Calypsonians had a meeting and said, "Boy, let's go." No. I'm right at his home. I don't even know where he write. Sometimes I write, maybe writing on the beach somewhere. But no, but everybody comes on and you hear the same themes.
Yes.
So it's a question of what they believe that the general population is worried about or concerned about, that have them to write in one direction or the other.
And so, Naham, the politicians should pay attention.
That is what I think. I'll go back to the same point that I made earlier. If you want to know what's happening on the ground, you need to come to the tents. You need to come to the tents, because the tent will give you, obviously you will get the SLP sentiments and anti-sentiment, and you'll get the UWP sentiments and anti-sentiment. I want to mention one of the politicians that's frequently there is Spider. And if you speak with him, I find him kind of very, very balanced in terms of how he as a politician appreciates the Calypso, and I think a lot of the other politicians need to do that. It's not big men doing papi show. It's people trying to pick up what they themselves feel on the ground and then bringing it out in song. So I think they ought to pay attention.
But Spider has been a little lucky. He's been under the radar as well.
He has been. He
hasn't really been the focus of it. As far as I know, I started doing this song on Spider.
Yes,
so you can enjoy the fun.
Yes. That's true too. That's true.
Yeah, you see again. You would get songs probably about the party which he supports.
Right.
But as an individual, you cannot zero in on him and say, "Boy, let me write a song that line on Spider or that line on Spider.
Yeah.
He on the platform, obviously he's a flubber, you speak for flubber. But in terms you say, well boy, you know Spider involved in this, I can catch him there. I can no. There's some guys bring food.
Yeah, for you.
Low hanging fruit.
We pick it.
But I suspect that's why, you know. I mean he supports. I mean, like Happy says, he's in almost every tent. You know,
he's one. But I think, and it's always my belief that Calypso on the whole, if you look up the topics from everybody for the year, you would get a very good summary of what happened at least the previous year, and maybe a few of some of the broader older problems that we have in the society. So it's and that's why I think Calypso will not die, you know, because you need somewhere where you can capture the history and keep it going.
And my final word is, I know it's a fun season as well, but I think we ought to pay attention to some of the key messages that are in some of the songs. Like you mentioned, your song, and most of the songs have a message. I think that we need to pay attention, not just have fun, enjoy the song, but also pay attention to it, and live out, try to make a difference ourselves as well. I'm hoping that we can have you back here again before we get to the final. I know it's moving pretty fast, but I enjoyed having you here.
Yes.
And we hope to have that kind of experience on the show. Thank you so much.
Thanks very much for having us.
It's happy to be here.
Yeah.